Boom. Here we are in the room podcast. Where's my cameras? Lars Borssen joins me in the room podcast tonight because he has some breaking and special news. Even though he sent out an article, a couple hours ago and got the news out there, some of you may have not read it yet, but it must be up to like 500 reads at this point, maybe more. So it's a hot item. Lars, man, what'd you do today? A lot of action happening.
Yeah, man, it was an interesting day. A lot of news coming out, I think it's important that the community knows kind of what's going on out there. So it was pretty crazy. There's a lot of stuff going on, and we'll give you guys an update and kind of what we'd heard and what's going on. But it's keeping people accountable and making fighters and camps aware of some of the shady practices that are going on.
So let's talk about it, Lars. You were on a Zoom meeting today, and a lot went on. A lot about fighters being maybe, I would say, taken advantage of and misled. And let's talk about it, buddy. Where'd you go today? And let's start off the conversation about what was talked about.
Yeah, so we heard probably about a month ago some grumblings in the community about some fighters not getting paid by Premier Fighting Championship at their last show, November 19th. We heard some rumblings. We did some research. We talked to some people, and it was looking, like the rumors were true. And so we kind of bit our tongue. We wanted to give Premier and Karen the benefit of the doubt and allow them to possibly pay, the purses that were guaranteed to these fighters. So we didn't say much. And, I heard some more things yesterday, and I knew that the Mass State Athletic Commission had their monthly meeting today. It was on Zoom. So I tuned in. Public can tune in. It's, for public consumption. So I sat around on the call for 45 minutes or so before they essentially allowed public comment.
Now, before they allowed public comments, was it all about the subject we're going to be talking about? Was that what was really the meeting was about and what you guys focused on?
No, there really was not an agenda item for what came up during the meeting. So this is all kind of coming together pretty quickly. So there probably won't be on the record, like, official agenda item for this topic until their next meeting, which is, I believe, February 9th. It's always the second Wednesday of the month at 11 o'clock. Anybody can tune in on Zoom. And yeah, so it really wasn't an agenda item, but when I tuned in, all the commissioners were on, the other people involved in that department within the government in Massachusetts, and there was some other public people that were just tuning in to listen. And then I also noticed that Marcus Davis was on the call as well, and he introduced himself at the beginning of the meeting. But we really there was no agenda item to talk about what Marcus had to say, but we kind of had a feeling something was going to come up in the meeting. So that's the reason why we were tuning in and wanted to kind of get some more information. And since the meeting at 11 o'clock this morning, I've talked to Marcus Davis. I've talked to some other people in the community, and we kind of have a better grasp of where things are at this point.
So where are we at, and what the basic details? We have audio and a clip of some of what went on today as far as like the meat of it. Lars, let's talk about what exactly happened and what's happening right now as far as fighters and Premier FC, which is one of the huge subject of the meeting. Let's talk about what happened and, as far as details we know just from the public record or the public, meeting you were at today.
So at this point, we know of 6 fighters that have not been paid by the promotion for their fight on November 19th. Marcus Davis kind of kicked it all off by going to the commission directly and saying, this is what's going on. This is not right. And there was a second fighter as well that had gone to the commission, Ronnie Marks. He was the co-main event on that card. And now, so we knew about those two. And obviously, Marcus publicly stated some things on the call that we'll get to. But we knew it was those two. But since then, 4 other fighters have come out over the last couple hours saying they also have not gotten paid by Premier from that show on November 19th. Now, I'll preface this by saying I'm a supporter of the sport in general, but most importantly, the fighters. I'm going to try to help them and go to battle for them anytime I can. But I'm also here to support the promotions, so long as you're doing the right things, gyms and whoever else is involved. We're trying to elevate the sport to a different level. And so tuning into that call today, I was a little hesitant because I have a good relationship with Karen Wesh, who's the CEO, owner of Premier. And we've had a good relationship over the past few years, covered her events. So I felt a little weird kind of going this aggressive after this topic, but I did give it some time. I gave it a good month to see if things kind of worked itself out, and it hasn't. So I think now that Marcus Davis has gone on publicly on the record through the governmental channels through the commission meeting, I feel like it's fair game to talk about this and to make sure that people understand what's going on out there.
Okay, before I play the first piece of maybe 2 minutes of audio from when Marcus Davis first came on, was Karen in the meeting, the Zoom meeting today? Was she attending?
Not that we could tell. I mean, on the Zoom meeting, there was probably 20 people in the meeting, and some people can come in just as guests, as the public, and you don't necessarily need to write your name down. You don't have to declare who you are. You can just kind of listen in. So she may have been in the meeting call. I don't know, but from what I could tell of the participants, I didn't see a KW or a Karen in there. But why would she come in and maybe put her name down? She probably would just listen in as somebody else. So I don't know if she was on.
Any representation for her on?
No.
Okay. I don't know if Karen regularly goes on, commission meetings. I know as a promotional owner, I think she's been very vocal on some of them in the past. I could be wrong, but, usually when you're a promotional owner, you attend the meetings because things can change. And, with times now with, COVID, you don't know what's going to go on next as far as regional promotions. So you kind of want to get on. I know some promoters are on every week, not every week, every time they hold a session. So she's kind of missing right now. But
yeah, it's a lot of strange things have happened over the last few days that have kind of led us to this conclusion. And if you read our article on NewEnglandMMA.org, I wrote this article this afternoon, like as soon as the meeting ended. I'm like, all right, it's time to kind of go public with this. So that article lays out a lot of kind of what's going on. A lot of it revolves around Marcus Davis and kind of what he said. But essentially, he was asked to come and fight. He signed a contract and he wasn't paid. And now there's been 6 fighters that haven't been paid. There's been excuses that have been given. But some other shady stuff has gone on as well where, Marcus Davis, he had a change of opponent, so they had to update his contract. And when Premier sent the contract back to Marcus, yes, they updated his opponent, but they also reduced his purse by like 50%. And Marcus was smart enough to catch it and call him out and say, what's going on here? And the excuse was given that it was a mistake. But if you're updating a contract, you just need to update the name. You don't need to update the purse. So Marcus caught it, called him out. And this is me talking to Marcus Davis this afternoon.
That was going to be my next question. You did have a conversation with Marcus after the meeting, after the session. So this is stuff he told you on the record. And he's out there on social media right now following the post and also ready, if not, he has already made his own social media post about what's going on here. He's not remaining silent. Lars, let me play the beginning of that audio. Let me see if I can get that going. Hopefully everyone can hear it. and I don't lose you anywhere here. I still need a Jamie in the corner just for people out there, a producer here. But I think I'm doing all right at this moment. So let's roll
I
the
do
tape.
have a problem here where I had competed for the Premier Fighting Championship back on November 19th. And after competing on that show, they have not and basically will not pay me. I know that also Ronnie Marks, who appeared on that card, also was not paid. And originally they had not paid anybody that was on the card, and then they I was communicating with them, and they told me that they had not paid anybody. They were not able to because of something to do. And I don't know if any of this is true. I don't trust anybody. But on December 3rd, the CFO, Camille, said to me that in a 5-minute conversation that they had gone public and that they had an investor, and the investor had ties to terrorism, and that their account was frozen and all this stuff. And so basically what I'm trying to do here is find out, am I going to get help from the commission and somehow forcing Miss Karen Wesh and the CFO that come here to pay me what they promised to pay me on my contract.
There you go. There's more to that story. We will play Marcus's last comments before the session basically ended. But Lars, right there, he wasn't paid. We're going almost with 7 weeks, and like you said, the people coming out of the woodwork now as far as getting paid, and it seems a lot of them are out of staters or the bigger payouts for the card. I mean, we're talking what, somewhere between $15,000-$20,000 possibly as far as purses not paid out so far.
By my estimation, I know the sources I have are saying that Marcus was going to make the range of $8,000 for his fight. He was the main event. He won. And then the co-main event, which is Ronnie Marks, also didn't get paid. You got to assume he's making maybe 50% of what Davis was making. That puts you at about $12,000 right there, maybe more. And when you tack on 4 more fighters there, you're probably pushing that up to 20 grand or so. So yeah, from our estimation, it's probably in the neighborhood of $15,000 to $20,000, probably closer to 20, that hasn't been paid to 6 fighters that we know so far. So it's Marcus Davis, Ronnie Marks, Khabib Gordon at a Regiment Training Center. Also, let me refer back to my article for a second here. I got to remember all the names, but it's Khabib Gordon we talked about. Cam Resniski, he's come out and said he hasn't got paid. Niaz Ahmed from New York City has come out and said he hasn't gotten paid. So there's 6 fighters right there, and I'm sure there's a few more that we haven't got to. And hopefully what this will do is shed some light on it, and these guys reach out, because we're trying to help them go through the channels of the commission to make this right. So at this point, they're trying to have the commission's involved, talking to Karen, talking to the fighters. But right now, the commission only knows about 2 of the fighters. So if these guys have a claim and they want some funds, they need to contact the commission, and I can pass along that contact information if they need it.
Yeah, just put it on the feed when we cut out, and whatever information you have, the article link, all that other stuff, just throw it on the feed here, and we'll get people involved. You and I and people in the back have coming up trying to, I wouldn't say brainstorm, but coming up trying to come up with ways to maybe get the fighters paid down the line by methods of help and donate if this article and what happened is gaining weight and gaining steam, because as we know, fighters don't make fucking shit as it is, and even at a regional level. And we're gonna play the last comments that Marcus had to say in the meeting, because this really hits home, and this is exactly The dude's been retired since what, 2014, and he comes back to fight for the first time in 7 years, and he gets treated like this. An icon in the New England area and a UFC vet who's put his life on the line many, many times. So let me try to find this. I might have to skip around, but I'll get to the meat. So hang in there. And Lars, and then I'll let you give your final thought, because we're going to get Blaine on, and I want people to read the article, and you'll be updating stuff as we get more info. We might have Marcus Davis on next week, but the way things are going right now, that guy's going to be busy. He's going to be on a lot of podcasts, and people are going to be reaching out to him and other people. So we'll get in line after here, but we did, we put this out there, and as we said, it's for the fighters, and especially being in the promotion in New England. Man, we don't want a bad rap, and it hurts other promotions in New England as well. So let me get to this clip.
I think it's funny. We should also mention that since over the last few days, you can't find Karen Wesh on Facebook anymore. So she's deleted her Facebook account. No one seems to have any contact with her, it's unfortunate. It's kind of gone down that road, but that tells me that she's probably not. Probably doesn't have the money to step up and pay these guys, so it's probably going to go to their bond. But we can talk about that if we need to.
Yeah, like I said, I got to get Blaine coming on pretty soon. But I mean, until he, I can message them off to the side. But let me play this and see if I got it around the right spot.
I want to make just one kind of statement here, and that is, I retired back in 2014, and I retired with, I had a good transition. Like a lot of fighters do not transition well. Once their identity is wrapped up into fighting. My identity was not. So maybe to everybody else, but to me it wasn't. So when I transitioned out, I've had a really good living. I've been a biomechanist for the last 8 years. I've been running everything here in North Carolina since 2016 for the corporate chain Tap Out, running all their stuff here. So I had a really good transition through. This woman basically from 2016 until 2021 messaged me, if not weekly, at least monthly, constantly asking me to come out of retirement and to fight for her, even though I was comfortably retired. So this went back and forth, until finally, I made an agreement with her financially what it would take for me to do so, and signed a contract with her first on July 10th. Then that changed because it was for Nick Alley. Then it changed to fight Gary Bellator on August 4th, which she didn't even have the means of making that fight. I found out later. And then it changed again on September 28th, the Steven Stangl fight. And, and I told her, for me at 48 years old to come out of retirement and to do all those medicals, which I paid out of my own pocket, $3,600 to have 2 MRIs done because they screwed up on one of them, and then going through all the other processes that I had to do for it. And then I flew my son and my wife to the event and put them up for the event. And I traveled, and basically that month I had invested a little over $10,000. And then to have the fight happen, make absolutely nothing, and have Christmas come right up after the corner. And then unfortunately that week too, I spent the whole week up in Maine for visiting back home for Thanksgiving. And so she has, been able to put my family through hell over the last couple of months here. And they've completely no contact. Like I'm having no contact. And the last, I could show you the last text message she sent me. It was a heartfelt text message telling me that her husband has now divorced her because of this, and all this financial issue she's having and all the problems she's having, and that she's begging me just not to basically, she says, to come public and ruin her reputation and her business. Whereas she's had nothing to try to provide me with the confidence that I'm going to be paid under what contract we have. So I don't know what to do at this point other than, if this was I had a real bad reputation early on in MMA where I had actually gone to promoters' homes and collected money. There's some stories out there you probably have heard about me, but now I'm a 40-year-old guy, and all I want is for this woman to pay me what we agreed to, and I will disappear again. I'm definitely have no interest in fighting anymore because of this.
There you go. There you go. Great work, Lars. Great work today, and more to come. Great article. It's dude, man. It's you talk about in the article. It's what we do. I mean, and you gave it time, and now we see how it plays out, and hopefully these fighters get paid. It could be up to 18 months. You've spoken about as far as if it goes to the bonds ways. So man.
Yeah, yeah, man. It's this is the type of stuff we don't like doing, but I think it's necessary that we make this aware to people. This is not going to be accepted in this sport, in this community, in this region. We get nothing out of this. We're trying to help the fighters. I want to have good relationships with promotions, and I always have had a good relationship with Premier and Karen. But when something like this that happens, that's egregious, and it's really not the first time it's happened. At that point, something needs to be said. And I'm glad the fighters are coming out and saying, they're victims of this as well. So, the more people we know about, I know of, one fighter that's been paid. So I know there was a bunch of other pro fighters in that card. So if you were on that card, you didn't get paid, reach out to us. We'll put you in connection with the right people, but we want to make sure we have for the record that we know kind of what the, who are the victims here and what happened. So, I don't think we'll ever see Premier again. I don't think we'll ever see Karen again. They're already talking about suspending your license. So who knows where that goes? Thank God there's some insurance policy for these fighters, but that could take up to a year and a half to get them paid, which isn't fair. To somebody like Marcus Davis, who's out $10,000 because of all this. So, we'll see where it goes. We'll stay on top of it. We'll definitely be tuning into the future commission meetings and seeing where things go. But, the public needs to know this. The fighters need to know this. And hopefully it doesn't happen again.
Excellent. Well, Lars, thank you for coming on tonight with this breaking news. This that benefits fighters in the future. As far as, I mean, it's a bizarre world in the MMA community.
It's a shitty situation. It's a shitty situation. But if you're paying this money and it's just bad business practices, obviously. Yeah, she got in over her head, couldn't pay the bills, and here we are. So now what happens? And how does this not happen again moving forward? This hasn't happened in a while around here, but it was bound to happen. So hopefully something good will come of this, hopefully.
Well, keep tuning into newenglandmma.org because we'll be updating everything. More, maybe we'll get some interviews with the fighters that haven't been paid, Marcus Davis. But like I said, he's going to be busy. I'm sure people are going to be hitting him up. And Lars, keep doing what you're doing, man. We'll talk very, very, very soon. Maybe next week with an update. We'll do our weekly news report on New England MMA and all that. With that said, Lars, I got one of your fighters coming on next, Blaine the Shuttdown Shutt, who will be fighting at Bellator. Yeah. You worked hard to get him a fight. It's been an uphill battle, swimming against the tide to get him any kind of, title defending, fight out there for CES. So now he had to move on, and it's Bellator. So we'll talk to Blaine, and we'll see how he's doing, how training camp is, and how he feels about this next opportunity. So Lars, man, I'll talk to you. Tune in. Keep, talking about, pump up your guy on the feed.
Hey, my boy Blaine Shutt. Let's go the Shuttdown. Working on his medicals today. He's going back to Bellator. He's going to have some success in Phoenix, Arizona, January 29th. Tune in. The Shuttdown is making a statement. Number 1 ranked flyweight in New England. What up?
Excellent. All right, Lars, get the hell out of here. I'll talk to you later.
All right.
Later. All right, Lars, out of here. All right, let me get to hang up check. All right, he's up. Let me get to Blaine. Where is Blaine? Ready. So this is when I need a Jamie. So while I'm getting ready for Blaine to come on, let me throw his poster up there. So there it is. So Blaine will be fighting the 29th at Bellator 273, as Lars said, in Phoenix, Arizona. Blaine, who is a natural flyweight and holds the CES MMA World Flyweight title that he won off against Johnny Lopez back in fucking January 2020, I do believe. So it's 2 years since Blaine has fought for CES. He has fought recently back in May of 2021 for Bellator, his debut for Bellator, where he fought Eric Perez, I think, UFC veteran. He didn't win that fight, but as I said, Blaine is a natural flyweight, and he moved up for that fight because he couldn't get a fight for CES or, locally on the regional level. So he moved up in weight and took a shot. He didn't win that fight. He made it to, a decision. And now he's jumping back in there against a Russian wrecking machine. Even though the guy don't finish people, he is 8-1, and he fights out of Russia, and he is a Fedor training partner and, an up-and-comer from that gym where Fedor trains out of. So waiting for Blaine Shutt to come on. So let me get the rankings up, because Blaine Shutt is also our number 1 ranked flyweight in New England. And, we had a write-up on NewEnglandMMA.org about this division. And, some people have a fight coming up or just fought. So, things can change in the next, couple of months. Justin Valentin just came away with a win at Reality. So, things are looking good for the flyweight pros in New England here. Blaine Shutt is from Pennsylvania. He did win that title against Johnny Lopez, who Johnny was supposed to fight at Reality, also against Johnny Cupcakes Campbell at a catchweight bout of, I think, 130, and Johnny didn't make weight, so that fight was scrapped. So, with that said, I'm going to give Blaine another message here and see what's going on. He's supposed to be coming on. He is out of town training in an undisclosed location, which I don't know right now. But, oh, there he is. All right, so he's messaging me. So I'm asking him if he's ready. So let me get this up, see what he says. All right, I'm going to call him right now. See what's up. I think he might have a special guest with him, which I'm very excited. So I'm going to call him, see what happens. Bear with me, folks. Bear with me. Hey!
What up?
What's going on, brother? Hey, well, turn it the way you had it. Turn the phone the way you just had it. Because if your coach is on, I could say, she can get in the shot right here. But you want her to? All right, let me put you on right now. Hold on, let me get this handsome fella on the screen. So Blaine Shutt, the Shuttdown, is on the podcast here. What's up? And who is this beautiful young woman here? Is this your sister? Is this your sister, Blaine? What's going on?
Something like that, more or less a mother of other terms. This is the prestigious and worldly wide known head coach of Wrestling Prep, Miss Carolyn Wester.
Well, Carolyn, welcome to the show. This is a surprise. A few minutes before I was going live, Blaine let me know that you were going to be on. And I am familiar with you because I did see a great little promotional video you guys put out that Blaine is under your care right now, or under your torture? I don't know what you call it, because it didn't look like he, he had a walk in the park the day he put that video. So talk about it, Carolyn. How'd you get mixed up with this fella on your right here?
Well, it's kind of an interesting story. I've been cornering MMA for a while at the American Kickboxing Academy in California, and I also coach high school wrestling. And so Blaine, of course, is the leading coach for all the national dual teams. And I had some athletes that were gratefully good enough to wrestle on his team. And then he had been out to the American Kickboxing Academy. So when it came time for this fight, I was on the East Coast, and he said, would you be willing to work with me? And of course, thrilled to do so. So that's how we got hooked back up together. But he's well esteemed at American Kickboxing Academy in San Jose, and I've been there since 2011. So it worked out well.
Excellent. So have you worked together in the past? I know he's traveled to AKA in the past for a training camp. Is this the first time that you're working with him?
It is the first time that we've worked together. And I came to the East Coast in 2018 predominantly, and then I cornered 3 or 4 fights in 2018, 2019 for AKA in the UFC. But I live predominantly on this coast now. And then once COVID hit, I haven't been out to California that much. And then Blaine and I ran in together when he had some of my athletes on some of his dual teams.
So as far as, this is all about you right now, Blaine. We don't, Blaine, you set aside right there. But as far as you, as far as you and what you do, as far as your profession and what you do for these fighters in training camp, what is exactly your role as far as getting them ready?
Yeah, for sure. So I'm traditionally responsible for all the wrestling, a lot of the striking. Javier Mendez has talked about it quite a bit, that his belief in my ability for striking. And then, I run the wrestling practices, but basically my expertise is sequential muscle movement and transitioning from one discipline to another effectively. So I've worked with all kinds of athletes besides AKA, like Jermaine Durandame and Henry Cejudo and others. And that's my area of expertise. So the torture you saw Blaine doing was actually trying to get him to engage muscles that he hasn't been using regularly. And so its transitions were more circular instead of forward. We were trying to rectify that.
Now, as far as where he is now, where are you guys training out of right now?
We have a 10,000 square foot facility in Northern Virginia, Manassas, and that's where we've been for the last 2 weeks.
Excellent. So a little warmer than the New England area that we're at. And, before you guys came on, Blaine, as I said before you guys tuned in, Blaine is the #1 flyweight in New England. Not that he's got a chance to defend that, defend the belt or to really fight at that weight. He's had to go up because he just can't get a fight at flyweight. No one wants to take this kid on. And he's been very vocal on the, social media about getting a fight. And, as, friends of mine who manage him, they got him a Bellator fight. He had to move up. And, even though he came away with a loss in that fight, it was this decision loss, and it was kind of late notice, and he performed well for under the pressure he was under, moving in up a weight class. This is his second time around fighting at 135 for Bellator. What has changed, and what benefits can you give to him that he didn't have in that first fight?
So one of the things that I've been responsible for at American Kickboxing Academy is the weight management or the bulking for athletes prior to their fights. So immediately when Blaine first came down, his weight was very low. We bumped it up about 12 pounds and water loaded. So we're able to put on some muscle, but he'll have enough water in his body that we can just have the water come out naturally, as opposed to destroy any muscle growth by calorie deficit. So water loading is a very common technique used in MMA. And so we put him in a position now, change the percentage of his diet. I'd say before, maybe his diet was predominantly white carbs and maybe sugar. And now it's predominantly lean protein and green vegetables with just a tiny little bit, left over from his addiction to sugar and such. But we've been water loading, so he's been putting in about 10 pounds of water a day. So when it comes time, when we're in Phoenix, we will just start reducing the water into the week, and it'll naturally come up, and we'll be able to maintain the amount of protein he's eating. So the extra muscle he's put on, which you can see on him from last week to this week, will stay, and he'll be much stronger probably, and perform his anaerobic threshold. He'll perform better.
Excellent. Well, I can't wait to see that physique there, my friend there. Well, let's talk to you, brother. How's the body feeling, man? The video was a few days ago. You've been tortured for a little while now, in a good way, because you spoke highly of that feeling. What's the body feeling like right now, Blaine?
The only way I can really explain this in my comprehension of mind is kind of how a caterpillar turns to a butterfly. The first week here, I was coming into the new facility, learning a different way of training methods, and opening my body up to using different muscles than I had predominantly ever really used before. And I feel like that ended up becoming the molding stage, into which, with my body waking up to using these new muscles, kind of like crippled me a little bit, right? Which kind of like, again, it's the molding phase. And as I succumb through the time in that molding phase now, with all the aches and pains now, getting used to what we're doing and being able to body leverage a little better, that muscle tone starting to stick in, and the muscle memory and everything starting to get comfortable with the positions now that I'm being put in. I'm starting to break out of that pod now into this badass butterfly.
You can see it in the power and the torque, his wattage when he's striking and kicking, and the trajectory before his trajectory on his striking and his kicking wasn't congruent to maximization for knocking someone out or disabling them in a certain amount of movements. And now he's got rapid acceleration, and he's exponentially stronger.
Well, I like how you put that. Carolyn, as far as this fight coming up, he's taking on I would imagine a grinder, a guy that's gonna want to take him down and grind out a decision. Not the guy don't finish fights, but he wins fights, and he finds ways to dominate them. Not to give away a game plan here, but what are you expecting from this guy to come in? And, I know Blaine, wrestling background and all that stuff, but I would imagine he's got some amazing training partners or people that he can, get these reps with that are mimicking what he's going to be going through on the 29th.
Well, I think a lot of people initially in MMA, first at least, the way I ended up at American Kickboxing Academy was that Daniel Cormier called me and asked me if he could come watch me coach. And then he after he came and watched me the first night, he asked me to come over to AKA. And I took about 8 months before I even said a word. I just watched. And what I realized was there was a lot of start and stopping. People would move 1 or 2 times, they'd come out 1 or 2 times, and they weren't maximizing the transition to their different areas of expertise. So when you have somebody who's been practicing transitions, it's almost impossible for an opponent to really maximize on defending it. I mean, a lot of people will say to me, yeah, well, I can defend a double leg. Well, that's lovely, but it's really not enough. And so for me, it's the same logic and expertise that I've learned from Javier Mendez. So, and Javi, is reviewing his opponent's films with me and will work with me, Ron Kessler also, to make sure we have a accurate game plan. But I've had a lot of cornering experience, and all in the UFC actually. And so I feel confident that he's going to, this person, how do I say this? So an average person can move 10 to 12 times in 10 seconds. And we're talking a 15-minute match. So the number of times somebody's actually can potentially move is, over 7,000. If you're putting a series of movements together and you're always transitioning, and it's just not 1, 2, it's at an exponential higher number, they'll never be able to replicate that. It's impossible. So it's a matter of momentum, torque, anaerobic threshold, and putting that all together. And Blaine doesn't have a lot of fear when he's transitioning. So I think he'll be successful.
Excellent. Well, Blaine, you had that last fight in May for Bellator on, one of the biggest stages in the world as far as MMA. You won that CES title back in 2020, 2 years, almost to the day of this fight coming up on the 29th. What is this? I mean, this is a risk fight for you as far as, going in there, you're fighting, a guy that I would imagine Bellator has high hopes for, trains under Fedor, I do believe, or a training partner of his. What does this fight do for you? And what did you take out of that last fight that's going to help you propel you through this fight?
I think the difference between last fight and then this fight, I mean, I think that there's just two extremes. One thing that I've always been proud of as a fighter is that throughout my fight career, I've always evolved. One way or another, anytime I ever stepped in that cage, that was almost impossible to scout or watch video on because I was so drastically different in each fight. It just sucked that I am kind of forced to give a bunch of weight up and whatnot, not be able to have the opportunity to actually fight at my weight class, which I am a natural 125 pounder. But I think last fight, bumping up and stuff like that, which again, I mean, I've done relatively throughout my MMA career. I fought a few times at 135 and I handled myself extremely well, but it's obviously extremely well known that I'm predominantly the best, if not one of the best in the world at my actual weight class. So, I mean, outside of just coming up a weight, it just more or less comes down to not necessarily having a choice. And me just trying to look at the glass half full. This is just what I need to do to become a better fighter. I need to challenge myself. I need to push myself and put myself in bad positions to survive and get out and be able to evolve into a better fighter. Last fight, I learned a lot. I already knew I was a tough son of a gun, but I don't know how many people can break their ankle first 30 seconds into a fight and keep banging. I mean, there were times where I would forget for a second that like I had fractured it, and I would level change to try to shoot, and it just gave up, and he just ran me over or something like that. But it didn't throw me off. I kept grinding. I kept trying to get back up to my feet. I kept throwing punches. I kept going for it. I kept trying to win that fight. Being a small guy and giving up that thing, I'm not one to give myself a pat on the back, but it definitely motivated me more that I can compete here. I just simply need to get stronger, and the rest will come with it. I mean, I think that was the biggest factor of what I missed in that fight was simply just strength and cardio. Obviously, I took the fight on 2 weeks' notice, coming off the couch. This one, I get a few more weeks, which is great. Not a full fight camp, but listen, I'll take the 5 weeks over 2 weeks any day. Especially now with the revamped fight team that I'm with now and Carolyn here, allowing me the opportunity to evolve the proper way and the way that any professional fighter realistically should be taking a professional career in this sport.
Well, my man, congratulations, dude, on getting a great opportunity. Bellator, man. Big things with a victory coming here. Carolyn, you're going to be in his corner. Who else is going to be helping him out in Phoenix?
Well, so I just spoke to Ron Kessler today, and Ron Kessler and Javier Mendez from AKA will be joining me. Which I'm thrilled for. We've been a team together for a very long time. And so we have two other guys from AKA on that card also.
Oh, beautiful.
So they're already going to be in Phoenix, so it's going to work well for us. And I will tell you, Bellator is really excited to have Blaine coming back. I am friends with them, and I spoke to Kariana the other day, and she was so enthusiastic that this particular group, me, Javi, and Ron, would be back there with we'll be back there. Be back there with Blaine.
We're champions, baby.
Awesome. I can't wait, my friend, man. I love the smile on your face. I love that, that glow is back. You're back, eating. You're in the cage, ready to eat again, man. We speak all the time on, here and there on Messenger and just about the fight game, dude. We've been trying, Lars and us trying to get you that defending of the title, man. But things happen for a reason, and I think this fight coming up, man, is a launching pad for you, brother, in 2022. I mean, things are looking great for you right off the start of the year with a great coach, great team. and a new glow on the face, man. So with that said, any thank yous, anyone you want to shout out to, Blaine, anything you want to say before I let you go, and I'll let you guys get back to, either a rest until early in the morning when you pick it up again, or maybe you got another session right after we hang up here. Who knows?
Yeah, it'll be bedtime. It'll be a first 6 a.m. rowing session. No, I want to thank you first and foremost for having me on and giving me the platform to promote myself and my training partners and my coaches and everybody else that helps me out in my fight camp. I definitely got to thank Carolyn. If it wasn't for her, you know what I mean? This could have been another fight where I could have went in and just been a tough dude. I legitimately think this time I'm coming in and I'm going to be the one to change my life around and be that guy that they want to promote and make the main guy to build into, and possibly maybe contend for the 135-pound belt. Maybe this is me leaving 25 if this takes off and I find my new home at Bellator. Thanks to Carolyn. I mean, she definitely showed me that I have the frame to be able to bulk up to be one of the big 35-pounders. Outside of that, I want to thank everybody who's a big sponsor of mine. Elite Energy, they always help me out. Restore Lancaster, Hyper Wellness. They get me right. They get me right. All the stuff I do, free compression, hyperbolic chamber, red light therapy, all that cryotherapy, all of it. Without them, I mean, they help me with my recovery tremendously. Dependable Solutions, Derek Wyman has been there for me since day one, helping me afford my medicals and whatnot, which is obviously like a huge thing for fighters, is all the medical bills, the traveling fees, taking time off of work to focus on training for fights, and ultimately paying for a paycheck that was a little more. But hey, it evolves as you put in the time.
Exactly.
And then, anybody who's helped donate to like my fight camp and whatnot, I appreciate all you guys and everybody who's done whatnot for me. I'm really bad on the spot situations. So if I'm forgetting a sponsor, super sorry. Championship Nutrition. I'm so sorry, I'm forgetting it.
Hey, let me just stop you. Hey, Blaine, you're gonna have a big banner, and we're gonna put that out, and they're gonna get their play and their love from you, man, because you do give back, and you shine for these people that are supporting you, man, and congratulations on the teamwork here, and I can't wait to see the new Blaine, the 2.0 2022 new Blaine. Shuttdown, my man. Social media, both of you guys. I do have your Instagrams up here, but anything else you want to throw out there, throw it out there for any followers watching.
Obviously, I have my fan Facebook page at Blaine the Shuttdown Shutt. My Instagram, just Blaine Shutt. And I believe that's it for me, Carolyn.
Oh, no, we're just at Wrestling Prepper at American Kickboxing Academy. But I also want to thank you, because it's so hard to find people who are genuinely interested in promoting the sport throughout a region that isn't have some specific purpose for themselves. And it's so clear that your podcast is to help everyone in the area. And I'm so grateful to be able to follow you now and be a part of it. So thank you very much for taking the time, having the enthusiasm, recognizing all the good qualities, not painting negative scenarios, and really helping the sport grow.
Thank you so much. That means so much to me, coming out of someone, at your stature and the people that you're involved with. So thank you for the pleasure and, the surprise of you coming on here with Blaine. And, you guys have a great rest of the training camp. Blaine, I know we'll be contacting here and there, Lars, all that good stuff happening in the next couple of weeks, man. But, grind it, bro.
Lars. Yeah. Lars. Full contact management, Lars. You're the man, brother. He was on here before me, so hopefully he said some good things about me. He's a great dude. I got to thank him so much, because I know he's been looking under every stone and every rock to try to find me a fight at 25. And like you said before, I will call some people out. People, I don't understand why they're afraid to fight me. whatever.
You know, a lot of
But,
people are afraid to lose their spot with a loss, and that's not you, buddy. You're going for the gold. I mean, you're going for it. I mean, the payoff for what you're doing and you know, the fights you're taking, man, is much greater than, you know, the setback. If anything negative comes out of it, man, you're a young kid. You got a long career ahead of you, and you're you're a new guy this year, man. So, you know, kill it, bro. And we'll definitely be seeing you, man. Definitely, Carolyn. I would love to have a one-on-one with you down the line about, you know, your background, how you got involved, like from the start and that. So, thank you so much, and you guys have a great night. And, you know, enjoy the warm weather, I would imagine.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right, you take care and be well.
Thanks, bro. It's always fun talking to you.
All right, my man. See you later.
Later.
Awesome. That was good. That was really good. Blaine Shutt with Coach Carolyn Wester. Holy cow. What a surprise that was. That was really cool. I'm really happy about that. What just happened? That they came on. Let me see if I can get this off right here. So that's about basically the show right now. We're done. We had Lars on to talk. I wish I had a poster up here. Maybe I'll put Blaine's poster up here. Do I have it? Yeah, I'll put the flyweight rankings up there while I send us off here. So give me a second. Let me just fix this. I need a Jamie. I'm telling you, I need a Jamie. Telling you. So let me see how to do this. All right, now I can make it smaller and it'll fit in there, I think. I don't know. I don't know if it's working or not. So with that said, listen, join and jump in to the Room Podcast. And follow us on Facebook at New England MMA or the Room Podcast on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram, the Room Podcast, or New England Mixed Martial Arts. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us friggin' everywhere. Go to YouTube. Subscribe to this channel because we're trying to get monetized and we're trying to do more things with 1,000 followers or subscribers. So we're almost there. We're at about 100 short. So again, I would love to say, you know, thank you for everyone that tuned in tonight. Thank you for Lars for the breaking story, and thank you for Carolyn and Blaine Shutt for coming on. That was a very awesome surprise. So with that said, the Room Podcast will be back Friday night with Andrew Valdina, who's fighting for the Cage Titans amateur bantamweight title. He'll be on. There will be prize giveaways that night from Andrew Valdina and myself. So tune in Friday. Andrew will be putting out an ad and some good stuff about our podcast on Friday. So with that said, the Room Podcast, thank you so much, people. It was an awesome show. We're out.